remember that in his VT.
I even had the measurements come up.
So was it a proper monobrow? Was it all the way
Yeah.
across, or did it get a bit thinner in the middle?
No.
No, it's a proper monobrow.
Yeah.
There's no start and no end. I remember watching his VT thinking, if I go in, I'm going straight after him.
Did you get on with him?
Yeah, massively. I used to creep into his bed at night, and we used to cuddle.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he have a double?
No, he had a single.
Right, okay. Go from like the first sort of week where people slept. So go left on Steve, because Steve was always at the same bed.
Okay, so Steve was always there. Ben was always there.
Ben was next to him.
Yeah,
Next
never
Steve,
changed.
where
Yeah,
Joe was.
yeah, no, never changed there. I was in the double with John James.
And that little single next to the toilet.
That was Iffy. The double bed was next to that was Josie and Jovan. The first single bed next to them was Dave.
Yeah.
The next single bed was Nathan.
Yeah.
Then it was Shabby and Kiva.
In the double.
Yep, and then the opposite one was Corin and Sunshine.
Did Corin and Sunshine get on really well?
Yeah, they got on pretty well. Corin even convinced Sunshine to have a cigarette.
Really?
Yeah.
The thing I find weird there is Josie and Jovan. Because like straight from the bat, I wouldn't have wanted to share a bed with a girl just because they might have thought, you know, it was weird or something. I wouldn't have had any problems after like a couple of weeks, but you don't want to jump into bed with a girl, do you? Like on one of your first nights.
I would have.
Yeah.
Well, originally I was going to share a bed.
It's nice sometimes just to have a little cuddle.
Yeah. Originally I was going to share a bed with Iffy, but John James said probably best not because Iffy's got a fiance. But then, ironically, a week later I ended up sharing a bed with Iffy anyway. And Iffy and I used to cuddle all the time. But we knew.
I'm sure if a guy on the outside is not going to be worried about his girlfriend sleeping in a bed with a gay
guy.
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Iffy was in a single bed as well. She always seems so. Yeah.
But we could cuddle, and there wouldn't be anything to worry about because we both knew exactly where we stood with each other.
The only thing is weird, like, because obviously I shared like Corin's bed with her twice, but I didn't realise like the more and more people said that like after that, like the more and more that she fancied me and stuff, and then like kind of things that she was saying, oh, you've got a nice body, or like you look really good today and stuff like that, and I was like, okay. I kind of didn't want to, even though it was nice to just go in and have a cuddle, but because I didn't fancy her, I was like, I didn't want to carry on sharing a bed in case she started to think that
she got the wrong impression.
Yeah, the wrong impression. I didn't want to do that, so I kind of stepped back a bit because I didn't want to like keep sharing a bed. And
she fancied you big time.
Pardon?
She fancied you.
I don't think so.
No, she did.
She did. Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah, definitely. She told me.
When I used to sit with her having a cigarette, she'd be like, oh JJ, he's really good looking, isn't he? He's really good looking. I'd be dead embarrassed to go up to him and speak to him, and like, I'd be like, just go up there and say to him. And I'd be like, I'm just going to tell him for you. But like, no, don't.
She always used to, like, when she was drunk, she used to say a little bit.
Can you remember that night that me and her were sitting on a sofa and she started out to you, oh, JJ, you've got a really, really good body, and then tried to say, oh, but Aggie told me to say that. Yeah, no, that was just her.
No, I reckon you wanted to say that to JJ.
No, of course,
I'm too scared.
No, she was really nice, but like, because I didn't fancy her, I didn't want to, like, and people had told me that she fancied me, even though I didn't really feel that like she did. I was just like, oh, okay, I don't want to kind of give off the wrong impression and make someone think that I like them, and I like them as a person, but I don't like nothing more than that kind of thing. I was just, it's not it.
That's why her choice was you or Nathan, because it's two blokes she fancies in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of got that, obviously, towards the end. Yeah, because people, like, even Josie said, Josie was like, I bet you there's something to do with you and Nathan. I can't remember what she said. It was like, yeah, some kind of date thing. And anyway, that's what it kind of turned out to be.
Yeah.
I can't believe Nathan's got a girlfriend. Bastard. bastard. Must be going out with me.
Pardon me. Yeah, Corin was gutted as well.
I know,
Yeah.
we're both gutted.
Double whammy.
Yeah.
So did no one have an inkling that Nathan and Rachel were going up together?
In the first week, I thought there's definitely chemistry between them, and I think if Rachel hadn't gone, I think something would have
Would have
definitely
happened,
happened
yeah.
between those two. Definitely.
But
So it wasn't like completely like.
But whereas John and Josie's was more innocent and more reserved, they would have been much more like in your face about it.
But I always thought, just from what John James told me, that Rachel fancied John James.
I think
She did at the start.
she fancied both John James and Nathan at the start, but then when Nathan when John James switched on her, that was the end of a romance for them two. So she then fancied Nathan. I'll always remember that first argument between Rachel and John James. I thought they were just joking with one another.
Really?
When John was cussing her to the ground, I thought they were just like having a playful argument with one another. I didn't realize it was real.
What, were they both proper shouting?
Did anyone else like proper fancy each other in it? Like at that point, like the first sort of couple of weeks, like even if it turned out to be nothing.
Shabby proper fancied Kiva.
But Kiva didn't fancy her.
Sunshine.
Obviously, Kiva had a boyfriend.
Yeah, Sunshine proper fancied John James.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that one.
I went for a week of proper fancying Ben.
Yeah, knew that one.
Like I love.
I wasn't you fancying Ben, was it?
But then I started proper fancying Nathan.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Sunshine proper wanted a romance in there, you know.
I think yeah.
I think that was probably one of our not missions, but kind of one of our goals in it.
Yeah.
I was just about to say goals.
Do you know what? The romance was the last thing on my mind when I got in here. My main concern was trying to pass my mole task and not be ejected immediately.
I don't think, even if you'd have failed that task, there was no way they would have evicted you.
You think?
Not a chance. They would have done some kind of other task, even if they all thought it was you and voted you. I think there would have been something else like tied in, because I don't think they're that harsh to let someone come in and go after a week. I know they did last year, but I don't think they would have done that. Not at all.
That's one of my best feelings in this house, knowing I passed. Which is from bloody Corin. And so I could have only possibly got another 4 votes.
Yeah, but see, Corin probably didn't realise that by voting you, even if she did think it was you, she probably didn't think that by voting you, if it was you, that she would have been possibly evicting you. Whereas Jovan knew that by saying Sunshine, that he obviously wanted Sunshine to go. And that's obviously why Sunshine
got upset. I mean, I picked Sunshine because I knew damn well
it wasn't her. Yeah.
She wasn't going to go anywhere.
That, Molly?
Do you know, Josie sussed me out in the last minute when we were standing at the lineup. She looked at me and she went, "You've been a naughty mole, haven't you?" And then by that point, I couldn't hide it any longer.
Did she vote you?
No, she voted Sunshine.
I think though, generally, like people like Steve cottoned on, he was telling me, and I think like when you cotton on to something like that.
Yeah, Steve sussed me out.
You say someone else, don't you?
Yeah. Steve sussed me
just
out.
in case. Do you know what this program's about?
Yeah.
Even though they probably didn't think that it was going to be like you could have been evicted.
Yeah.
You just like.
No, I'm sure they knew what would happen. I'm sure they knew the mole would never be evicted. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think they would have thought that the mole would have been evicted, but.
Sunshine was my biggest adversary in that because she would not let anything go. She'd have to pick apart everything. And Shabby was my greatest help, ironically, because she was convinced there's other housemates in the secret part of the house coming in and doing other dastardly deeds. So she totally convinced Iffy and Kiva and Nathan that there was other housemates in the house. And I was like, yeah, there has to be other housemates. I thought that's obviously why they've made me the mole, to make it look like I've done it when it was secret housemates.